Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel with myself, Isabella. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new here, I'm Isabella. I am a British graduate of the Vaganova Ballet Academy. I was the youngest to go at 15 and do the whole 4-year course, graduating at the top of my class. And then I danced with the Mikhailovsky Ballet and Ifan Ballet, and now I'm a full-time coach and mentor, helping you become the best dancer you can, both physically and mentally. Today, I'm going to be talking with you about the best snacks and the snacks that I had as a professional dancer that would just help me get through the really hard, tough days, because you may be feeling like you can get through ballet class, but then after ballet class, you're just struggling for the rest of the day. And obviously, I'm not a qualified nutritionist, but this was my experience after getting advice from nutritionists and also reading a lot of information about how athletes should fuel themselves. Full disclaimer, everybody is different, everybody thrives on different things, but these are the things that help me get through a really hard, often 8-hour day. The number one thing I would suggest that all dancers have, if they're not having it already, is electrolyte in their drink, because this honestly was a game changer for me when I had to deal with extremely hard days at the Vaganova and extremely hard classes. You have to think, when you watch, say, Wimbledon, the tennis, even, the US Open, all of the athletes, they've got water and they've got another drink, which often looks like cloudy lemonade or something. And it's full of electrolytes. It's the thing that is fueling their muscles with glycogen. Glycogen is basically the carbohydrates that your muscle uses for energy. And without glycogen, whilst you're exercising, you're using up all of that glycogen, glucose, and you're losing salt through your sweat. So if you're not replenishing the glycogen and the salt, you just become really tired, really depleted, and then you won't really last much longer and you won't really be able to get through your really hard, long day. I would have these electrolyte drinks every day at Vaganova and every day throughout my career, and it made the world of difference. Just basically, when you're drinking water, as an athlete, water is just not enough. You need more than water. I would drink this powder called Isotonic. You can often get this in tablet form now, like sort of electrolyte drinks in tablet form. And you can also get the 0-calorie version in tablet form, which is basically just, magnesium and the essential electrolytes that you need. However, this was electrolytes and also glucose. So I was getting, so much sugar, so much energy that obviously I was like raring to go. But I would often, combine that with a bottle of water. So I wouldn't necessarily drink the whole bottle of glucose really quick. It would be half before class and then sips during and then half afterwards, kind of thing, and then water as well to dilute it a little bit more. But basically I didn't worry about calories or anything. I don't think I ever really thought about calories. Glucose, you may be thinking,
oh my gosh, though, but you're drinking sugar, the glucose.
It was like fuel for my muscles and I was able to perform so much better, and it is so important. So I've had quite a few students come to me recently. We've been doing variations, and I have one student who I've been working with a lot. She was coming to my open class, do the open class, and that's an hour and a half long, and then we go straight into a variation lesson, would then be another 2 hours long, and that can be a normal schedule. And so she really struggled with that, and her energy by the end was really low. We discussed it after a few lessons. I said,
well, let's discuss, when did you last eat breakfast, and are you just drinking water? Like, do you put any electrolytes in your drink?
And the answer was, breakfast was 5 hours ago and I haven't eaten since then. No, I'm just drinking water. You're basically dancing on starving muscles, and so obviously you can't perform well. It's very detrimental to your performance because you won't really improve, and you can't improve if you don't feel strong and energetic. So guys, electrolytes in your drink. Try the one with glucose in it and electrolytes. This is much better than Lucozade, Isostar. It's like what proper athletes use. I will leave some links down below. Isostar, there's also another really good brand called Elite, which I've been using, which is a little bit more along the lines of electrolytes only and not so many calories. You'll see amazing results. You'll be like, oh my gosh, I could go for another hour. Imagine if you could go for another hour. So electrolytes, people, electrolytes. The second thing I would have every day is a protein shake. I get asked all the time, like, do I need a protein shake? Obviously the answer is, if you're doing an hour and a half of ballet a day, no, you don't need a protein shake. A protein shake is like a meal replacement or an added extra. I would have a protein shake because I was dancing 8 hours a day and my muscles were constantly breaking down, and it was causing, huge stress on the body, and I needed protein and help for my body. If you are only dancing an hour and a half a day, get your protein from food. Have salmon and broccoli and have your lentils, have your meal options. Along with this, I had lunch, but the protein shake was really important to me because I needed the extra protein, extra recovery help. Because I did a lot of research at the time because I wanted to perform my best every day and give myself the best possible opportunity to grow as a dancer. After you've done some exercise, there's this thing called the glycogen window. And we'll get on to what I would fill the glycogen window with, because if you don't eat something glucose-like or carbohydrate-like in that glycogen window, then you will set yourself up for being really tired and fatigued. So it's really important you fill that window. And the window is small. It's only about 15 to 20 minutes after you've exercised. Later on, I would have my lunch about an hour later. So this is where the proper meal comes in. And then I would have my protein shake. And it was literally just water, frozen berries, and a flavored protein powder. And I've tried many protein powders. At the time, bear in mind this was, 10 years ago, I was using soy protein. Now I would probably use more pea protein, or there's this really amazing brand, I think it's called VO Life or something. But there's so many great brands out there. I never had whey protein. I just don't like the idea of having dairy as a protein powder. So yeah, I always preferred the vegan ones and I digested it well. This brings me to my third point, which is how to fill the glycogen window. We can fill this with many different things. I will just share with you some of my favorite snacks that I would fill the window with, and they're all carby snacks. During the glycogen window, like I say, it's really crucial. So you can fill that with a glass of juice, and that also hydrates you. At the same time, I think I would just finish my electrolyte water. So I ate a lot. So I would have breakfast, and then often before class, if I was still hungry, which sometimes was the case, I would have half a muesli bar just before class, because the idea of doing the class and being hungry was just like my worst nightmare, because I just get really ill. My blood sugar goes really low if I don't eat, so I would just feel terrible. After the ballet class, during that glycogen window, I would have the rest of the muesli bar straight away, just shove it down. I would also maybe have an apple, either as well as the muesli bar or instead of, or a handful of raisins. Something that you can fast digest. The raisins are dried fruit, so I'd probably leave those for a snack later in the day. I'd definitely go with finishing the muesli bar, glass of juice, or apple. My final favorite snack would be in the group of healthy fats. For healthy fats, I would just love almond butter. So along with my lunch, I would have a piece of toast, usually rye bread or pumpernickel bread with almond butter and cottage cheese on top. You may think that sounds really gross and really disgusting, but it was actually amazing. And it was like a lunch I massively look forward to after my class. So I would have my class and then I would be like, oh my gosh, yes, it's lunchtime. And I would just relish that lunch and I would just sit back for an hour and just watch my TV show. It was amazing. But guys, don't forget about the healthy fats, and you can't be afraid of healthy fats, especially for women out there. You need the healthy fats for hormones to work correctly, bones will be healthier, and you'll be less susceptible to injury, all of these things. And, for a wealth of reasons, we need healthy fats in our diet. My go-to was almond butter or avocados. Obviously, with healthy fats, as they're fats, you just have to eat them in moderation. That doesn't mean to omit them completely. Whenever I would have healthy fats, it would just be a small portion. Plate would be carbs and protein, relatively similar ratio, and then fats, a slightly smaller ratio. So, for example, I wouldn't have a heaped tablespoon of almond butter. It would probably be a heaped teaspoon, for example, or a level tablespoon, whatever. But I wouldn't go crazy, and I definitely wouldn't go scooping back for seconds, after all, it is fat, so you need to have it, but in moderation. But with all of these things, you will just feel so much better and so much more fueled. I have made a podcast episode on my entire diet that I would eat at the Vaganova, so make sure you check it out, A Dancer's Mindset, on Spotify and Apple, if you're interested. But also, just remember to always have snacks and fluids on hand, even during the rehearsal. If you're starting to feel really tired, just be like, okay, I just need a second to have my drink and just have a snack. Make sure, don't be afraid you've had breakfast, but that was 2 hours ago, but you haven't even exercised yet. Doesn't matter. If you're hungry, for God's sake, have the snack bar. Then you'll perform better in the class. You'll get your results faster. there's a sense of like you shouldn't have to earn your food, you know what I mean? If you should fuel yourself to perform well, and you've got to start thinking of yourself like an athlete. I would be very strategic with how I would eat, so I would often eat the same thing every day in that 5 days of intensity. And on Saturday, I'd start the day eating normally, and then Saturday evening I would eat whatever I wanted, because hello, it's the weekend and I'm only human. I need a day off from my athletic diet. But it was very strategic, and it's what kept me lean, kept me strong, and also kept me energetic throughout this really, really difficult regimen. The day always started with carbs. I would have my electrolyte drinks all the time in the morning, a 500 milliliter bottle of electrolytes, and then I'd fill that again and have the exact same thing for the afternoon. So I was having a lot of glucose, and that's just from the drink, and then I'm eating everything else, and then the raisins, and then the apples, and then the juice, and then, so you may think,
God, that's so much.
But like, guys, I was sweating buckets and exuding so much energy every day. We're not normal. We're not normal humans. I'll go to the gym for an hour. Like, obviously someone who goes to the gym for an hour or does one ballet class in the day does not need this level of snacks and food. This is for the people who are training hard, be it ballet class and training hard in the gym and swimming a mile, those people, or people who are training 8 hours a day in the studio with their teacher. Then you need to eat like it. Otherwise you're just going to burn out. It's not going to be sustainable, and you'll wonder why you can only go 3 days at a time and not 2 weeks. So you've got to be really strategic with your diet. And if you have any questions of what I did and what helped me, comment down below. Always get in touch with me via email, hello@balletwithisabella.com, or Instagram. I'm always available as well on Messenger when I get the time to check. So let me know. And I hope this was helpful, and I hope, if anything, this has triggered you to reassess what may be lacking from your diet and what you can do to improve on it. So guys, look after yourselves, stay strong, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye for now.